So the madness continues, and my life in the program likewise, despite what I do or don't do in real life, it really has no consequence on the program's continuation or the narratives in which I supposedly feature as the main protagonist, in which I'm always doing something that is completely against all of my interests, and always serving this conglomerate of states and intelligence agencies' interest to such an extent that everything they say and do is just reality because they say so, which is something I always which I always laugh about on my own when something is proclaimed that I'm doing something, while in fact I'm just sitting there doing nothing, or in fact I'm doing well for myself under the circumstances which I find myself in, which most people by now would have probably committed suicide or ended up in a Looney Tune bin, but not me, because I apparently just persist, which is something that I would like to emphasize, how I have survived all of these years being endlessly persecuted, but not by just one government, the Danish government and its intelligence agency, PET, but a conglomerate of governments and their intelligence agencies, which primarily consist of the United States government and the CIA and other intelligence agencies, who literally has it as their job to kill me off, not physically, but my character, and have me locked up in a loony bin, so that they can continue their preposterous claims and allegations without there ever being any court cases or any investigations of any kind. So it's just their virtual movie fabrications which they endlessly propagate and transmit while I'm sleeping or trying to sleep. Or it's these never-ending psyops in which they are always narrating the situation around me, and likewise proclaiming that I'm thinking so and so, and they are literally at a stage now where they're trying to normalize this following claim. They want you to want to accept that if they say that I'm intending to rape someone, for example, and it's not something that I'm saying or doing or trying to achieve, but it's just something that they say I have thought in my head, then they want you to accept that this is the same as if I had actually done so in reality. Not that I'm thinking of raping anyone whatsoever, but as you know, they are monitoring all of my sensory capacities, if you will, and then they are narrating on them the same way that they are sending synthetic telepathy communications, not just to me but to the public at large, using synthetic telepathy on a mass scale. And they are now going, so they've probably been doing it for quite some time, but they are now arguing quite emphatically, as far as I understand, that thought crime is now the same as have done some act in reality corresponding to that thought, and who's the arbiter of investigating which thoughts are mine or which thoughts are the state arbiters who are just sending synthetic telepathy communications and proclaiming that they have claiming that they have censored that thought that they are using as some kind of justification against me. Well, you guessed it right. There are no investigators. There are only the state arbiters of the program arbitrarily deciding everything. They actually have the power, if it's according to them, that they can just proclaim that, for example, me selling scooters, engines and parts is because I want to get close to minors to violate them. Or they can claim that I'm only doing Thai boxing because I want to violate other people in all sorts of despicable ways. This is kind of the extent that this situation has gone to, where they just arbitrarily claim everything they want and command of people that this should have the same material effect as if something had happened in reality. And they're obviously doing this because reality does not fit their narrative whatsoever. My actions and words in real life do not justify any of the persecution which I am being subjected to. People do not have a natural hatred towards me because I'm not doing anything wrong. Yeah, I might drive a bit too fast in my car sometimes, but that's literally the extent of my so-called illegalities, and therefore they are making or arbitrarily inventing all of these games, arbitrarily proclaiming all sorts of outrageous things because reality does not fit their agenda or their interests. So they are just making it up as they go along.